There are many ways to think about fitness, and the fact is that the moment we start thinking about it in depth and we introduce high-level concepts, they kind of devolve into a myriad different items, and we can easily get lost in the weeds and lose sight of why we do the things we do. So today I'm actually going to examine some foundational principles, 3 in particular, and how they actually break down into absolutely basic things so we can all better understand why we do the things we do. Now, essentially fitness, which we assume most of the time that it has a physical element, the things which we actually observe on the outside of us, the things we see in the mirror every time we look in the mirror, or the things we see in other people who are our role models, which we try to emulate. Well, that's the element that is the primary thing, but that is actually resting upon things which we don't see. So in fitness, we need 3 very specific things, 3 very specific layers. The first one is wiring, and I will explain that in a minute. The second one is chemistry, and the third is structure. Now, wiring essentially is cognition. It's our brain. Our brain is involved in everything, how we think about the things we do, how we plan the things which we plan, how we execute them, and how then the planning and the execution affect again our thoughts in a kind of feedback loop. That's our wiring. And that's absolutely essential in our fitness journey. If we don't have that input, then we sort of blindly do things. It kind of works for a while, and then we lose sight of why we did it because we don't even understand why we started in the first instance, and then we stop. And it happens to so many of us when we haven't started from a very basic foundational principle of understanding why do we want to do this and what does it mean for us. This brings us to the next layer, which is chemical. The chemical layer is emotional. Essentially, all our emotions, the things we feel, are the result of neurochemical changes in our internal world, in our internal system. And those neurochemical changes either agitate us and arouse us, or they dampen us down and depress us, or ideally bring us down to a base level state from which we can actually function optimally, a balanced state. And then, of course, we have structure. And structure is simple to understand because we can actually observe it. It's tendons and muscles and bones. And the better quality and the better strength they have, the better the structure it is that we have, and the more functionally effective we are. So essentially, when it comes to fitness, how we think about it, how we kind of plan it, how we aim for very specific things in our fitness journey, it has to have those 3 things. It has to have the cognitive element, the wiring, essentially how we think about it, what does it mean for us, why is it important for us, what are we prepared to do about it. The emotional element, which is the chemistry, the chemical element of that, basically we have to feel truly what we're trying to achieve in terms of intrinsic value for us. And finally, the structure. And the structural element, the outside of us, is a science upon itself. How many times we need to do something in order to see some specific change, what kind of sort of exercises we need to engage in order to achieve a particular performance result. But none of those things will actually take place the way we expect them to if our wiring isn't right and if our chemistry isn't right. So really, our fitness journey, always, in order to be the most effective for us, in order for it to be sustaining for us, which means it's good for us, in order for it to be sustainable, which means we can actually engage for it all our life, it has to start from the inside. I hope this helps. See you all next time.